Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Yahlial in this incarnation. Today, I am here to talk about the penumbral lunar eclipse in Libra that we are going to have on March 25th. This is going to happen in the degree 5 of Libra. I'm going to show you the chart right now on the screen. So every lunar eclipse happens in a full moon. Therefore, the sun is in opposition in Aries. The first thing that we have to remember in every season eclipse is that this period of time is activating these mathematical points called the karma nodes, the lunar nodes. The north node is in Aries right now, and the south node is in Libra. I've been mentioning this, but it's important to remember. So the north node is an evolutionary point and of advance to the unknown. And the south node is a point of cleansing and draining of the limiting conditionings and what is familiar associated with that energy, in this case Libra. So this eclipse is a closure of a cycle that is asking for us to let go of something, to make this purge. And it is closing a cycle that started on October of last year of 2023. It was an eclipse to a sun eclipse, that is a new moon. And it was very intense, if you remember that eclipse of the last year. But this one is a penumbral eclipse. This means that the moon is not going to be totally covered by the earth. The earth is interposing between the sun and the moon, so the moon is not going to be in total shadow. That's what it means. So this eclipse has less impact, but every lunar eclipse is a full moon multiplied and magnified, so we are going to feel it with certainty. Okay, the processes that are activated in these periods of time are very karmic. I mean, life is redirecting us in the path of the soul, whether we like it or not. So how aligned we are with our own path is, of course, an individual process. Okay, so in the collective level, the fact that the Librian energy is eclipsed, I am inventing these words because I don't know if this exists in English. Okay, the energy of Libra is associated with the peace, with balance, with justice. You know, the justice is divine. The justice executes itself when human beings are operating in connection to consciousness. So as a society, we know that we have too much to learn, we have too much consciousness to develop. So this energy clearly can be polarized, or it can be in this polarity of areas, creating conflicts and wars. So the most important thing is to focus in our own individual process, not because we have to be selfish, because everything that happens in inside of individuals then is projected on the collective situations. So this is the main way that we can collaborate with the planetary process. So in the individual level, the energy of Libra that we have to drain is very linked with, for example, leaving aside my personal desire to not create conflict with others, my personal desire of the soul. I'm not talking about, you know, this is the low energy of Aries, being selfish, you know, to put my personal desire over considering others. But in this case, this is about something that is important, that is a core value maybe. Other thing that is important to take in account with this energy is, for example, the fear of being alone, and because of that, sustaining relationships that can really not accompany our evolutionary process. That will be behind. Yeah. So other thing that is very linked with this energy is avoiding conflict to sustain a false peace, because we know that when we are not communicating clearly, when we are not establishing the things clearly in relationships, we accumulate resentment that is going to explode in a moment, and that moment could be the days near the eclipse. Other thing is very linked with stop expecting the acceptation of others, or that others can share their opinion or can be in agreement with our own path of the soul, because our soul right now is asking us with the North Node in Aries to take steps and to act in independence, no matter if there are people that are not in agreement with that. So every time that we feel the need to defend ourselves or to attack others because they are not in agreement, it is our wounds, the ones that are shown, our conditionings. Chiron is not participating directly from this lunation because in mathematical degrees is farther away, but is going to be in a conjunction. Mercury is going to do a conjunction in those days with Chiron, and we could transit conversations in which this pain and these wounds are shown, these primordial wounds, that we have been carrying on for a long time. So it is a moment to integrate, and certainly there could be a tendency to reactivity. So it is very important to pay attention to this. Okay, other important thing is that this lunation is going to be given in a trine with Pluto in Aquarius. So this is something very new, it is a harmonic aspect. So this is telling us that it's time to assume our power, our personal power, but in a very different way that we didn't do before. We didn't did this before. We didn't do this before, sorry, because this is a transit that we have never experimented in our lives. So this aspect will also collaborate with flow better with the purge that we have to do and with the transformations, so we can create a space for new things enter in our experience. This aspect is also telling us that this closure of a cycle is creating a reborn of new forms of power, collective power. I mean, from my perspective, I am mixing again my Spanish with my English. These days, these transits with Neptune are keeping me very, very confused in my communication. Sorry. Okay. From my perspective, this refers to the community. That independently of the difference of the identities, the community is united by the power of consciousness. This is the only way in which we can create more equality, a distribution more equitative. I don't know if that word exists. And this thing about equality is something that both Aquarius and Libra can share. Libra in its high vibration is the sign that is in consideration of the others, and Aquarius wants a distribution, an equitative distribution. Sorry, for everyone. Oh my God. Well, so. The pyramidal systems are falling because Pluto is leaving Capricorn. We have one more return this year, but Pluto in Aquarius is going to stay the more time. So at the final part of this year, Pluto is going to stay there until 2044. So it doesn't matter if the pyramidal systems fall if the egos continue to operate in automatic pilot, because every system is going to be in a deviation if we are not in connection to consciousness. So consciousness, the development of consciousness is the only way in which society can really evolve and change. This is very important. So each one of us, we have to occupy our role and express what our soul wants to express, North Node in Aries, and to do our part in the community. This is very, very important to find our purpose here and the main sense of why we incarnated. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to comment is that the regent of this lunation is Venus. Venus right now is in Pisces, and by the moment of the eclipse is going to still be in order of conjunction with Saturn in Pisces. So beyond that is going to create a sextile, which is an harmonic aspect with Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. This means that the other day I was commenting that one of the shadows of Venus is linked with this renouncement to oneself in order to save others and the projection of idealizations and fantasies. And why am I talking about the shadows of Venus? It is because I am explaining that this eclipse is going to show things that we have to leave behind, things that we that are not serving for us for the next phase of our evolutionary path anymore. So these are the shadows of Venus in Pisces. But with the conjunction with Saturn that is going to happen before, the exact conjunction is going to happen before the eclipse, this is going to move us to put healthy boundaries, or to or maybe lessons are presented that are going to push us to put healthy boundaries. With Saturn, it is about maturity or maturity. So the eclipses are periods in where tests can present. I'm going to put an example. If someone asks you for help, and you don't feel from your soul that you really have to offer that help, and you do it anyways because you have fear that the other person is going to be mad, or that the other person can think that you are a bad person, for example. All of those things are conditionings. So that will bring its consequences, because if from our soul it doesn't feel in alignment to offer something to someone, then that is not collaborating with the process of the other either. The person is also operating from their conditionings. So this Venus here asks for us to practice this unconditional love with ourselves and healthy boundaries with Saturn, because this creates relationships in a more genuine expression of unconditional love and reciprocity. We are all discovering love in the purest expressions constantly. This is part of the evolution itself. So the thing that I wanted to comment is that this sextile with Jupiter and Uranus, is linked with, if we align internally with our desires of the soul, if we put our energy and inspiration to construct and to build our dreams with commitment. Everything with Saturn is about effort, is about investing energy, time, and it's about doing things with a lot of commitment, requires commitment. But this sextile with Jupiter and Uranus is telling us that this could bring an expansion completely unexpected. With Uranus, everything is unexpected. So in the plane of the matter, something that we can really touch or see. So this is very important to take in account. I wanted to comment that, and well, the next days we are going to continue certainly talking about this. I'm going to end the video here. Thank you everyone, and see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.